All right, welcome back, and thank you, everyone. And we are now joined by the contingent from West Virginia University. Pleased to introduce first-year head coach at West Virginia, Dawn Plitzowite. She was 16th year overall as a head coach, 6 years at South Dakota before heading to Morgantown, and she has brought 3 of her student athletes with her: sophomore J.J. Quinterly, fifth-year senior Madison Smith, and redshirt sophomore Kaya Watson. So thank you and welcome to all of you. Coach, I'll start with you. You've battled many a Big 12 school in your time at South Dakota, including a big upset last year in the in the second round of the NCAA tournament to send your South Dakota team to the Sweet 16. What about this league makes it so tough? And what challenges do you think it presents as you kind of get into the thick of it night in and night out?
Well, certainly the conference has an incredible reputation. There's certainly a great level of success. Right now you see it with, I think, 4 teams being listed in the top 25 that just came out today. So certainly a great deal of recognition. I think what makes it a challenge is not only the incredible players that are in the Big 12, but the strength of the coaches and the different styles. So it's not as if you can prepare one way and then that's going to help you against 3, 4, 5 different teams. So each team, there are a lot of different styles within the Big 12. So what I think we have to look forward to is that it's going to help us get better. Our program is going to continue to elevate and grow as we continue to compete in the Big 12 and figure out those different styles.
A lot of pieces of the puzzle have to be put together when you take over a program and you come in as a first-year head coach. So have you settled in, put together your roster, put your staff together? What will be the ultimate identity? What is the message that you all talk about that you want West Virginia women's basketball to be about?
Well, first of all, it'll be about our toughness, and I think toughness, certainly these young ladies who played at West Virginia and Kaya played for us at the University of South Dakota, is that they understand the toughness looks like taking charges, it looks like getting on the floor, it looks like finishing plays, but really the toughness for us is also doing the little things well, taking care of the basketball, sharing the basketball, getting good quality shots, and not necessarily running plays, but learning how to play together, and that's something that'll be the first thing, is that toughness component. And then there's the togetherness piece, and what I've been very impressed with these young ladies and our young ladies who are at home is how quickly our chemistry is coming together, with so many new players, with the new coaching staff. Really you have to have a strong desire and drive to do very well, and you have to have great chemistry, and we certainly have great drive and we certainly have great chemistry.
Who, as you look at your roster, has stood out to you in these first few weeks of official practice? And you've had plenty of, we have the off season and all of that, but everyone just looks at October and think, okay, it's practice time. So who really has maybe stood out to you, and what has been maybe a pleasant surprise of what you've seen on the floor?
Well, I certainly think that we walked into a situation where we have some young ladies who were in the program at West Virginia who fit our style of play really, really well, and 2 of them are with us today, and Maddie Smith and J.J. Quinterly. I think their ability to make plays on both ends of the court is something that really will translate well into what we do. Now, the question, what they have to learn is how to use their speed a little bit slower than they do, if that makes sense. So slow down, and then their speed becomes even faster because they really have very, very special speed. And I think each day it's been, it's really been something where different players stand out, and we talk about these 2 young ladies and how well they fit. Savannah Samuel, Jayla Hemingway, both returning players for us at West Virginia, both are guards with some size that can post up and make a lot of things happen. And in our style and our offense, that really fits us very well. And so, we've had some really engaging, good practices, competitive practices. We still have a lot to learn yet.
All right, for anyone out there in the audience, from our media members, if you do have a question, please raise your hand, and Christopher or Rachel will bring a microphone. But in the meantime, I'm going to ask these young ladies a couple questions. JJ, you were a 2022 Big 12 all-freshman team selection last year, an honorable mention preseason all-Big 12 selection this year. 4 out of the 5 freshmen that were on the all-freshman team last year have been up here today. What has been your focus in the offseason for improving your game and thinking about taking it to that next level from year 1 to year 2?
My main focus is getting my three-pointer together and just looking for my shot at the 3 instead of getting to the rim all the time. And either if I don't have the 3, get to my pull-up. So, yeah, I've really been working on that.
We'll open up the floor a little bit. That helps everybody, right? Okay, Madison Smith, a fifth-year senior, an honorable mention preseason All Big 12 selection. She started all 30 games last year at West Virginia, and so that's veteran leadership at the point guard position, which I'm sure coaches love when they look at a roster and think, ooh, that's a really good thing to see. Madison Smith does that. I always think that point guards are kind of like quarterbacks on the floor. You do a little bit of everything, and you have to see every play. What do you think from the style and the things that you guys have been learning and going over in practice? How will you be able to help your team this year on the floor be able to execute?
Just really focusing on, just playing together and, not giving up on plays because, at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we finish all plays and, yeah, that's it.
No, that makes total sense. And I know in the Big 12, as Coach said, you can't take a night off, but you've been around this. You've been in this league. You understand. You see the style of play, the physicality, the speed of it, with a lot of new faces on your roster. What's been the message to some of these new players about what they're going to encounter in the Big 12?
Yeah, the Big 12 is definitely a tough conference. It's a lot of big physical players. So, you have to be a tough player to play in this conference and, not worry about the bumps and bruises because it's going to happen and just play through it. At the end of the day, we gotta win games.
No, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of bumps and bruises in this league. That is definitely for sure. All right, Kaya, you transferred to West Virginia. You followed Coach from South Dakota. You come to Morgantown. Was this a tough decision for you? And really, what were some of the motivators in making that decision?
It was a tough decision for me. My last team, we had a lot of success. And I think one of the big factors in coming to West Virginia was the coaching staff and being able to be coached by them again. Like I said, I've had a lot of success under Coach P, so I'm just excited to be a part of the program.
Sort of a whole new part of the country, but also a whole new league and a lot of new challenges. Coach, when you think about the challenges that are headed your direction in the Big 12, you also have to look at that non-con and say, okay, how do we get this team ready? So what was your philosophy in scheduling? What were the things you guys wanted to accomplish so that you could kind of work on some things early and set yourself up for Big 12 play?
Well, certainly it's important that we see some great competition in the non-conferences. Most of the non-conference schedule, or a lot of the non-conference schedule, was put together, and so trying to, kind of coordinate a few pieces, add a couple of games. We were able in the non-conference to play some teams that I think are among the best in the country. NC State is one of those teams. We'll face them when we are in our Thanksgiving tournament. We'll play Georgia in our tournament right before Christmas. We started a home-and-home with Penn State, and so that's kind of a big rivalry type of game for us, and that's certainly a lot of fun. And then also during the rest of our non-conference schedule, we're going to see a number of different styles of play, and we talked about that earlier and how important that is in preparing for Big 12 action.
All right, that sounds fantastic. Well, I want to thank all of you for being up here today, for being part of all of the festivities here in Kansas City. Look forward to seeing you guys back here in March for the Big 12 tournament. And we will have the student athletes and coaches from Baylor here in just a few minutes. Best of luck to all of you this season. Can't wait to watch you guys play.
Thank you.
Thank you.